Yeah, I'd like to discuss another topic from that same article about Mount St. Helens. And it's about polystrate trees. Well, I have here a little thing, little sub-article from the main article, which tells that about 20,000 trees. There were a lot with the explosion of Mount St. Helens. There were a lot of trees. They were smashed to the ground, and a lot of them were dropped into the lake, the Spirit Lake. I mean, Spirit Lake, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. I mean, Mount St. Helens. Helens means shining. So even that is has some spiritual meaning. But they were dropped into Spirit Lake, and during time, some of these trees were floating flat, and then they turned because there was water penetrated, and they become heavy on one side, and they got standing up, and they even got this in that way of standing up that their foot, which was low at the low point, pointing down in the lake, was trapped in the mud of the lake and got stuck because of the sediments, etc. And well, a lot of people ask themselves, well, how are polystrate trees formed? Well, this is, I don't know if the picture is very clear, but you can see here some logs standing straight up, and it's a very famous picture of it. I've seen it many times appearing in several media things. And one guy argued with me, yeah, look at the lumber industry. In the lumber industry, you can only see entire mats of floating trees, etc. And you never see one standing straight up. I said, yeah, that's correct. You're absolutely right. He forgot only one thing. That a lumber company is not interested in keeping those trees floating long enough in the water so that they get soaked with water and get standing up. The transportation from cutting the tree to the industry where they are cut in wood sheets and whatever kind of stuff they make from it. Yeah, the time is kept short relatively to the process that is needed to make them standing up, because it takes some time when if you have a tree floating in the water to get soaked and to get heavier on one point, or so that it's going to tilt and stand straight up. I said, yes, you're right. With the lumber industry, you don't see that. While this more or less the same situation, except for the time of transportation from A to B. I mean, these trees were not cut for lumber industry. These trees were cut by a volcanic activity, and they were laying there for who knows how long, and that would never happen in a lumber industry. So in a lumber industry, you're right, but the time is not long enough for the lumber, for the trees to get soaked, and in this situation, it is. So that's why you see no lumbers or no trees standing up within the lumber industry, but you do see a tree standing up in this situation, because the time frame is totally different. Yeah, a wood producing industry has no interest in keeping those logs as long as possible in the water. Yeah, that's not of their interest, because every tree they want to put in a product as soon as possible. The longer it stays in the water, the more money it costs. So that's the point he forgot. And but he used it against this argument that trees do not stand up in the water. That's right. If they are not long enough in the water, then you're correct. But in this situation, it's a different situation. And this is what has been found, how polystrate trees are made or come to be, so to speak. So in catastrophical situations where thousands and thousands, maybe millions of trees stay therein for months or maybe years, yeah, then they can become straight up, and then they can get buried into sediments and become petrified. And even petrification is not doesn't take a long time. There are experiments in Japan where they do petrification in 7 years on a natural basis. I mean, there is also an industrial basis. Way of petrifying trees, and that's to make wood more durable by petrification. What happens is that the wood structure is replaced by mineral stuff, so that it gets more hard and more durable to be used. So it's actually an industrial process, and that doesn't take long. I mean, again, that industry has no benefits on many of thousands of years of petrification for wood. So they need quick processes to make wood more durable by petrification. So that even proves also that petrification does not take long time. Okay, this is another little subject I wanted to discuss with you. And again, this proves that all the layers you get, like the previous topic I discussed, and all the petrification or the standing up polystrate trees, well, it's easily explained if you look at what happened at Mount St. Helens. And so earth layers, yes, sediments enough on this earth. 95% of the nowadays soil we live on is sedimentary earth we live on and we stand on. And but it can be done in very short times, like a Noah flood. And that's actually the message that the Bible is correct also in the aspect of the Noah flood. And these facts show that Noah's flood was a reality and no fairy tale. Okay, that's what I wanted to share with you. Hasta la vista. Hasta la vista. Also.